What's up, YouTube? Thanks for watching last week's episode of the BJJ Vlog. Thanks for the feedback. Really liked it. I just realized we didn't do a no-gi before, so that's something I think we're going to do more often. But this week, new episode, new subject, and we have belt testings coming up this weekend, and I'm gonna do the belt test as well. I'm not the only one, but I'm gonna do the exams. Sorry, otherwise you might think I have to do a belt test. So I thought, okay, let's talk a little bit. How do you prepare for a belt test? And that's going to be the subject for today. So first, there are different phases in preparing for your test. Of course, when you start training, the very first day, the belt test shouldn't be on your mind. And the first thing when it pops in your mind is when your instructor tells you you're going to be ready within the next few months or so. So starting from that point, how do you prepare? I think when your instructor tells you, you can do two things. Either panic and think, oh, I'm not ready, or get motivated. Because when your instructor tells you that you're going to do the belt test, he believes in you. You might not believe in yourself, but your instructor trusts that you're going to do this and trusts your skill. So the best thing you're going to do is just train. Don't think too much of it, just train. It's a milestone you're going to work towards, but just train. And the thing I see with my own students is dedication and motivation. And I think that's the main purpose of the belt test. Because I know some schools do belt gradings depending on how long someone trains or how they perform in competition. But you should have a standard. In our opinion, we're part of the EGGF. You should have a standard that everybody can meet, so that you just have one clear line. If you perform on that level, you're ready for the next step. So that's how we do it. Yeah, and you just train towards the belt test, and it's a motivation. It's an achievement, and especially the first test, the stripe on your white belt, is something you can stress out on. But guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like you're going for your black belt. So what you want is just an understanding of your jiu-jitsu. Know what an armbar is, know what a triangle is, know what a upai is, how you do those escapes. That's the goal. Of course you can make mistakes, of course you can be nervous, and that's something we're going to talk about in a minute. How you're going to deal with the nerves, especially right before and on the moment of the test. But don't worry too much, just train. Make sure you know the techniques you're supposed to know, and find a training buddy who is also going to do the belt test, and train together, do extra trainings. And I mentioned the open mats a lot. Use the open mats to work on the techniques you got to learn. That's something else than doing open mat and telling everybody the techniques that they're going to do. That's something else. Yeah, so don't forget that, because I said don't train technique on an open mat. No, but you can drill your technique that you're supposed to know for your belt. That's something else. And of course roll. So depending on if you're going to do a stripe in our system is only technique, and belt test is a lot of sparring. So then you need a good cardio as well. And if you're going to do a full belt test, for instance blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, the thing is you got to show proper jiu-jitsu. So with a strategy, not only a technique, because everybody can learn a technique, but how you're going to apply it. So that's what the goal is in a full belt test. Do a lot of sparring and show that you know how to use your technique. And of course, if you're the weakest guy or girl, and weak, I mean you're not the strongest, the heaviest, so weak is not negatively meant here, then it makes sense that if you're going to do the belt test, you're on bottom, you're going to get submitted a lot, and it's very hard for you to do the submission. So don't worry about that as well, because the person who's doing the belt test for you, the examiner, he's going to see it. It makes sense. But we're going to look in how you try to apply, what your strategy is, and whether or not it works or it gives the other one a hard time. So That's in your preparation. Don't worry about, you know, how you're going to perform. You're just going to do your best, and that's it. So then, you know, you're going to arrive at the moment just before you're going to do the belt test, maybe a few days before. I get a lot of students who come up with me and say, oh, I don't know this technique, I don't know that technique. You know, they stress about, oh, this detail, that detail. Don't worry, it's normal that just before the moment's there, you're gonna forget some techniques, you know. It's with Jiu Jitsu, it's with every test you gotta do. If it's for school, you know, and maybe a test for work, you stress out, you forget stuff, you know, you kind of panic. And controlling the panic is also Jiu Jitsu. So just relax, you know. And my friend in England, Dan, he had a very nice expression. He's a surfer dude, so it really suits him. He said, you know, when you do the belt test, you got to ride the wave, not try to control it. And that makes sense, you know, because what's going to happen is going to happen. You just stay on that wave and make sure you stay there until the end. If you try to control the wave, you'll fall off your board and maybe drown. So just ride the wave, enjoy it, enjoy the experience, because you know it's not only the achievement for the test, but it's also a big learning point. You get a lot of info, and you know it kind of works like a mirror, and it makes you see where you got to improve your game. So of course, you know, working up towards your belt or during your jiu-jitsu career so far, you know, your instructor, maybe teammates have been telling you what to improve, but sometimes you just don't see it yourself. And that, when you do the belt test, you realize what your weak points are in a good way, because only by knowing and acknowledging your own weaker points, you can improve. So you gain a lot from it. You know, mistakes is what we learn from, and making a mistake or doing something wrong isn't a negative thing, you know. And a lot of people think it. A lot of people think, oh, it has to be perfect when I do my belt test. No, that's impossible. If it's perfect, you know, you're a black belt. Oh, my little friend is coming. Hey, Rumbo, you're gonna help me with the vlog, bro? So you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's impossible. But you just do your best, and that's the only thing you can do, and that's what you will be judged for. So don't worry, just do what you do best, and you'll pass. Then for the day itself, how do you prepare? Of course, you know, the most annoying thing is when you have to go to a location you don't know how traffic is, don't know how parking is, don't know how the accommodation is maybe. So prepare well. Prepare your bag a day before. Put in a clean white gi. Make sure you have your knee pads, maybe rash guard or t-shirt or extra t-shirt, a towel, you know, because you're gonna sweat a lot. That's for sure. You're gonna sweat a lot. And put in some water, because you don't know if it's available on the location or not. So bring some water. And especially for those who gonna do a belt test with sparring, and make sure you have some food, you know, which is high in sugars. And of course sugars are not good for us, but you'll need immediately energy. So something like dextro, or you know, I see people eating wine gums. That's all okay. Bring bananas, fruit, that kind of stuff. That's maybe even better than bringing sweets. So you'll be able to replenish your energy. That's for your preparation the day before. Make sure the bag is ready, you know, make sure the car is fueled up, that kind of stuff. All makes sense, but make sure it's all set. And then make sure you have your route planned, and maybe check what local, you know, parking facilities are, and make sure you arrive at least 30 minutes prior to the start of the test. It's better to do 45, you know, especially when you got to drive a long way. You know, plan some extra time so you arrive relaxed. Yeah. And I paused there a little bit because sometimes, you know, I see people, they arrive just 5 minutes before we start. You stress, you're in the car, fuck, we gotta start, you know, you're all stressed, and you haven't had a proper mental preparation. And that, well, it'll probably not, you know, screw up your whole belt test, but it's not you know, a nice thing. It stays in your mind, and you know, gets you out of focus. So that's the best thing to do for your preparation, from the moments before, the months before you're gonna do the belt test, right up until the moment you're gonna do the belt test. You know, and of course, it's not a battle. You know, if you do sparring, it's not about hurting each other. It's about showing proper jiu-jitsu. Don't be a badass. You know, just be a good training partner, be a good student. You know, and share the jiu-jitsu lifestyle. And I'm sure you will all pass the test. For those who are gonna do the belt test this weekend, I wish you guys all the luck in the world. For my own students, you know, guys, I'm confident you're gonna pass. You know, don't worry, I'm confident you're gonna pass. And then next week we have something to celebrate together. So for now, for those who are not doing the belt test, enjoy the weekend, relax. For those who do the belt test, good luck with your preparations. I know you're gonna watch this on the day or the day before you're gonna do the belt test, so I hope it helps you relax a little bit. And I'll be back with you guys next week. See you then.